Hello and welcome to World News here on TVP World. I'm Diana Skaya. European Council President António Costa stressed that Europe should be ready to offer possible security guarantees to Ukraine if a ceasefire is negotiated. Now, the EU official emphasized this in a letter to leaders this morning ahead of an extraordinary summit scheduled for next week, which has defense and security at its core. Our EU correspondent Angela Skujins reports.
The EU and its member states are ready to take more responsibility for European security, and those member states must be ready to contribute security guarantees to Ukraine to ensure a just and lasting peace is brokered in the ceasefire negotiations with Russia. These comments come from European Council President António Costa and were penned in an invitation letter sent to heads of state this morning regarding an extraordinary security summit scheduled for next week in Brussels. The top of that docket is the ongoing peacekeeping and security efforts in Ukraine, but the subtext of that letter is to ensure that Europe can stand on its own when it comes to its own defensive needs. Ukraine is the doorstep to Europe, and there are fears that if a long and just lasting peace isn't brokered there, that Russia's imperialist efforts could spread further. But what we know is that EU heads of states will discuss ongoing military support for Ukraine next week. This will come in the form of a military package. The aim of that is to strengthen soldiers on the battlefield in the skies to ensure that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is in a position of strength to go to the negotiating table to ensure that the best outcome is brokered for his country. We're expecting reactions from member states today regarding what those security guarantees could look like, whether this is boots on the ground in the form of peacekeeping efforts or more. But we'll wait and see what comes out from them. Angela Skujins from Brussels for TVP World.
Diplomats from Russia and the United States have convened in Istanbul on Thursday for a fresh round of talks aimed at mending the strained relationship between the two countries. Now, the discussions follow a shift in U.S. policy under Donald Trump's administration, which moved away from isolating Russia and instead sought to restore ties with Moscow. Now, the discussions are led by the respective top diplomats of each country, Marco Rubio from the United States and Sergei Lavrov from Russia. Now, the main focus of the meeting is expected to revolve around restoring diplomatic missions in Moscow and Washington, D.C. The U.S. State Department said that Thursday's talks do not include discussions on Ukraine. However, American officials view these meetings as a test of Russia's commitment to engage in meaningful discussion. The European Commission will react firmly and immediately following Donald Trump's remarks on introducing a 25% tariff on imports from the EU. The spokesperson for the European Commission called Trump's plan an unjustified barrier to free and fair trade, adding that the tariffs are used to challenge legal and non-discriminatory policies. Now, Washington is expected to announce the tariffs shortly. Trump hinted the move during his first cabinet meeting on Wednesday, claiming that the EU was created with the intention to cause harm to the United States. The European Commission spokesperson responded to that statement, saying that by creating a large and integrated single market, the EU has facilitated trade and reduced costs for U.S. exporters. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer arrived in Washington, D.C. following the announcement of the largest increase in London's defense budget since the Cold War. Now, during his visit to the United States, Starmer is scheduled to meet President Trump. In a statement delivered at the British Embassy in Washington, Starmer emphasized the importance of U.S.-UK relations, and he highlighted the shared values that bind both countries.
I'm here to meet another close friend of the United Kingdom, President Trump. And my message is really simple, that there is no more important relationship for the United Kingdom in defence, in security, in trade, in tech, in finance, and so much more. We share fundamental values of openness, of democracy, freedom of speech, freedom to thrive, and freedom to pursue the future. a freedom which this week we've shown our willingness to defend with the biggest sustained increase in our defence spending since the Cold War.
Poland has signed a deal to lease 8 American Apache combat helicopters. Now, last year, Poland signed a $10 billion deal to buy 96 Apaches. The lease is supposed to help train Polish pilots to fly them.
This is a serious decision. It results from the fact that we want to be prepared to master the equipment that we buy. The mere purchase of military equipment does not mean that we have all the skills to use it. We started this training much earlier, and today we are leasing 8 Apache combat helicopters in the D version so that we can have all the capabilities immediately after the arrival of the target purchase. The first tranche of Apaches in our E version in 2028. This is why we are leasing today. We are spending $300 million on it, so that our pilots, ground crew, can get to know and learn all the skills.
Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski arrived in Tokyo on Wednesday, and he's scheduled to attend meetings with his Japanese counterpart and the Minister of Defense. Now, in a statement released on social media, Sikorski mentioned the importance of Japan as a partner amid increased threats from Poland and Japan's shared neighbor, Russia.
After Washington, D.C. and New York, it's time for Japan. It's an important country that we share one neighbor with. We will meet with the Japanese Ministers of Defense and Foreign Affairs. Let's also bear in mind that Japan is hosting the Expo conference, where Poland will be significantly represented.
Moving on to Austria, where the formation of a new government is one step closer. Now, the centrist political parties have reached a deal to form a cabinet without the far right. Now, the top 3 centrist parties in the Austrian parliament, that's the Conservative People's Party, the Social Democrats, and the New Austria and Liberal Forum, have decided not to join forces with the far-right Freedom Party in forming the new government. The detailed coalition plan is set to be presented later on Thursday. Now, although the Freedom Party won the legislative elections in September 2024, the People's Party was given the first priority to form a government. After a failed attempt in January 2025, the President of the Republic assigned the task to the populist and Eurosceptic Freedom Party, but they too were unable to form a coalition. President of Serbia, Aleksandar Vučić, has called the 1-year sentence against Bosnia's Serb separatist leader, Milorad Dodik, bizarre and senseless. Now, the charges stem from Dodik's refusal to comply with rulings issued by the international envoy overseeing Bosnia's peace accords.
This is Republika Srpska President Milorad Dodik demonstrating his sentiments towards the sentence he's been handed. Dodik believes he is innocent and has a powerful supporter in Serbia's President Aleksandar Vučić, who visited Banja Luka urging dialogue.
This verdict is directed first and foremost against Republika Srpska, and it is directed against all Serb people.
Milorad Dodik was sentenced to 1 year in jail and banned from holding the office of president for 6 years, as punishment for defying the orders of an international peace envoy. Dodik has 2 weeks to appeal the sentence.
We are ready to talk with everyone. I am ready to talk with all the representatives of the Bosniak people and the Croat people, so that we can all come together to say and see at this important moment how to build a constitutional and sustainable Bosnia-Herzegovina for all. But we don't want to bow to a process, the aim of which is to subordinate us and to strip us of the rights we have acquired.
Republika Srpska is one of the 2 federal entities within Bosnia and Herzegovina. It is inhabited by a majority ethnic Serb population. Its leader, Milorad Dodik, has maintained friendly relations with Vladimir Putin. Russia has condemned the court's ruling against the separatist leader.
Romanian media have reported that controversial internet influencers Tristan and Andrew Tate have left Romania for the United States. Now, their ban from leaving Romania has recently been lifted. The Tate brothers have faced charges of human trafficking, sexual misconduct, and money laundering. Now, they have denied any wrongdoing. Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan spent 3 months in a Romanian jail in 2023 before being released and placed on house arrest. Afterwards, they were banned from leaving Romania and required to regularly check in with the police. With the travel restrictions now lifted, the Tate brothers have reportedly left Romania for Florida on a private jet. Today, Poles around the globe are treating themselves to sweets and snacks to mark Fat Thursday. Celebrated annually in Poland, this year, Fat Thursday also came to the EU ambassadors' meeting.
Served donuts, the EU officials seemed to enjoy their meeting. Fat Thursday is linked to the Catholic Church calendar, marking the beginning of the last week before Lent. Traditionally, Poles spend the day meeting with friends in their homes and cafes, eating large quantities of sweets, cakes, and other meals forbidden during Lent. Among the most popular dishes served during Fat Thursday are angel wings, puff pastry fingers with powdered sugar, and Polish donuts, known around the world as pączki.
Oscar-winning American actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy have been found dead at their home in New Mexico. Now, according to a statement from the Santa Fe County Sheriff, the investigation into the cause of death is still ongoing. Hackman was 95 and his wife was 63. Now, local officials confirmed that the couple had died along with their dog. Santa Fe Sheriff Dan Mendoza said there was no immediate indication of foul play, though he did not provide a cause of death or offer details of when the couple might have died. Hackman's career spanned over 6 decades, during which he received 2 Academy Awards, 2 BAFTA Awards, 4 Golden Globes, and a Screen Actors Guild Award. Gene Hackman also had a connection with Central Eastern Europe. In the 1977 epic film A Bridge Too Far, he portrayed Major General Stanisław Sosabowski, the commander of the 1st Polish Independent Parachute Brigade. And with that news, we end this edition of World News here on TVP World. I'm Diana Skaya. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more news and features.